Digging a well on our site started with the nerve-wracking process of deciding where to dig. It's a lot of effort, not to mention a big investment to dig an open well. So we really had to put everything into deciding the spot which would have the best chance to find water soon enough. This our contour map that we had prepared in the previous months really came in handy. It's based on this that we decided. On the day before that we would start to dig, we wanted to do something special. So we invited a few of our close family members and headed to the site. And Mervin's mother said a very sweet story about the well at her home in the Western Ghats when she was young.
Yes.
Next, Balu Maestri came to the site and he drew the circular outline of the well based on where we had decided to dig. This is kind of like how we used a compass to draw circles back in school. There was a central wooden pin inserted into the middle, and then somebody would go around with another wooden twig and a rope, and a circle would be drawn. We then had to call the JCB to clear up a small route to the site of the well. This was important because we needed to make sure that there would be place for a truck carrying the stones and the cement possible.
So, Mom, why have we decided to build an open well here? First of all, what is an open well?
An open well is what you see here. Borewell is a thin, say an 8-inch or a 10-inch diameter machine which goes in and drills through soil. And borewell usually goes to a deep aquifer, whereas open well taps the shallow aquifer. And so we plan on doing some rainwater recharge and all, and which from our land will get water into this well.
And how will we be using this water? Can you talk about that?
Mostly to water plants, trees, saplings. But of course, for our house work, all those things. Yeah.
The top level of the mud is usually very hard to dig, so it's a lot easier to do what we did, which was commission a Hitachi digger to do it. So the sides, you can see the markings of the digger. They are then smoothened out manually, as you can see in this picture. And then we needed a small crane to be installed right next to the edge to remove the mud that was dug out. And lifting this mud up would be really hard work, so it's preferably done with this crane. During the digging, we hit one hurdle in the form of a large boulder. The boulder was too hard and too heavy for even hammering it to work. We needed to break it into smaller pieces in order to lift it out. When hammering it didn't work, we had to resort to blasting it and then finally pulling out the smaller pieces out of the pit.
Hello. So these guys have gone down 18 feet today. They've hit some rocky patches. Water is not visible, but the mud has water. Like if you squeeze like what Sydney's doing, see his hand is wet. And you can get a slight squeeze of water, so it's definitely there. So hopefully
Very close.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
Sure enough, just like Sydney and Rupen suggested, we hit water the next morning itself. The workers dug the center to probe, and it was barely 2 feet from the previous day when they finally came upon this beautiful site. And here's the bottle with the first ever well water that we found. Here you can see Mallikarjuna hammering an iron rod down to check if there's bedrock coming soon. In the center there were no rocks, so we continued digging in the sides for another 2 feet until we reached the water table, hoping that there would be no major stones till then.
So these are unshaped stones. These are shaped stones, and we have all the people working for stone cutting. They're shaping these stones into these perfect looking stones. The first time we have connected a pump to our well, and water is in full flow, looking really good.
The base had to be filled with mud so that when the concrete formwork went in, it would be stable and would not change shape due to the wet mud. At the base of the well is a ring, locally known as a chauka. The chauka used to be a wooden square. In fact, the chauka of the well in Mervin's family village was made of tamarind wood, and this makes the water taste really good. A tinge of sweetness, even today. But these days, it's more common to use a concrete ring reinforced with steel. The purpose of a chauka is to be that firm and even foundation on which the subsequent rings of stone can rest on. This is very important when you have not hit bedrock yet. Even though the chauka sinks further down, it will ensure that the upper layers of stone don't lose their alignment. It was quite tricky to lower the chauka down without damaging it, but Balu's team are very experienced and they managed to do it without much trouble. Once that was set in place, the workers filled the formwork with concrete to complete the chauka. We had a few showers soon after, which saved us the job of watering the chauka for it to set. And so we let it rest and set for 2 weeks, after which it looked like this. Next, Balu and his team build up the well from this base, and there's more digging and more excitement. Stay tuned for the next part of this video. Thanks for watching.